10th game of the 2012 high school football season. Tonight we have round 2 of the WIAA Division II state playoffs between the visiting Brookfield East Spartans and the Greendale Panthers. These two teams met last year in round 1, of which Greendale lost by a score of 14-7. Brookfield is coming in tonight 9-0 and has the number 1 seed, while Greendale is coming in at 6-3 and owns the 5th seed. The Panthers would receive first to start the game. After a short return, they would start from their 28. It looked like East was in the Panthers' huddle as they smothered them in all 3 plays, forcing the Panthers to punt, going 3 and out. After the kick, it was now Brookfield's turn on offense. They would be starting from their 33. On the very first play, junior quarterback Jack D'Amico had mishandled a snap and had to fall on it, but not before losing 9 yards. Greendale eventually forced him to punt, going 3 and out as well. After the kick, sophomore quarterback Josh Ringelberg would lead his offense back out onto the field and start from their 27. They would try 3 running plays that took the ball up to the 36 when they were looking at a 4th and 1. Head coach Rob Stoltz, who loves to gamble, would roll the dice and go for it on 4th down. Ringelberg would make it by a foot for the game's first down. On the very next play, Ringelberg would roll to his left and spotted a wide open Cody Metz down the left sideline for a sure touchdown, but the ball was slightly overthrown, putting a scare into East. 2 plays later, they were forced to punt back to the Spartans. East would take over on their 30. Up until now, the Panthers' defense was doing a great job of containing a very powerful Spartan offense. That trend would continue as they forced the Spartans to punt, going 3 and out. After the kick, Greendale would take over on their 42. This game was now turning out to be more of a defensive battle as they would have to punt, going 3 and out as well. Brookfield, who was still looking for their first down of the game, would start from their 23 after a nice punt by Peter Picard. This time they would get off 6 plays, taking the ball to the Panther 45 before they would have to punt once again. That kick would make the end zone, so Greendale would start 1st and 10 from their 20. Greendale was having trouble dealing with Brookfield's speed as they were forced to punt to start the second quarter. After a short kick, the Spartans would take over on their 45. 13 plays later, they would finally reach the end zone as senior running back Zach Schober would take it in from 1 yard out. Kicker Connor Allen would make the point after try making a score 7-0 with 6:59 left in the first half. After the ensuing kick, Greendale would take over on their 21. On the very first play, they would try a trick play of which Ringelberg would pitch it to Metz, who would then throw the ball toward Mitchell Breeze downfield. It looked like the defender was going to intercept the ball, but instead it slipped through his hands and fell into the hands of Breeze, who took it up the field for a 42-yard gain. The Panthers continued to move the ball, looking like they were going in, but 5 plays later, Ringelberg couldn't handle a snap and fumbled, of which East would fall on the Panther 14. Again, the Cats defense stepped up to the plate and forced the Spartans to punt as they went 3 and out. After a short kick, Greendale would take over from their 48. 5 plays later, they would reach the end zone as Metz hauled in a Ringelberg pass from 26 yards out. Kicker Frankie Rakowski would make the kick, and this game was all tied up at 7s with 1 minute left in the first half. After the kick, the Spartans took over on their 36. Greendale's defense was doing another great job, but on a 2nd and 10 play, they were called for a mysterious penalty that caused some controversy. On the play, Panther defender Zach Henderson collided with the receiver behind the line of scrimmage on a screen pass, which is legal. An official on that sideline threw a flag of which everyone assumed would be a pass interference call. Then all of a sudden, all the officials seemed very confused and got together for a lengthy meeting. After they broke the meeting, they marched off 10 yards up the field against the Panthers and said they were holding, which made no sense whatsoever. 4 plays later, Schober would get loose up the sideline for a 37-yard touchdown run. Allen would make the kick, and the Spartans would throw up 7 more points with 11 seconds left in the half, making the score 14-7. Greendale would get the kick and take a knee to end the first half of play. Greendale would kick first to start the second half. After their attempted pooch kick failed, East would get the ball on their 42. They got off 8 plays before the Panthers stopped them on their 30. Greendale would now start their first drive of the second half. Again, their running game was not working too well as they were getting beat up front on the line of scrimmage. They would have to punt, going 3 and out. After the kick, the Spartans would take over on their 35. This time it would take them 5 plays to reach the end zone as Schober would take it in from 6 yards out. Allen made the kick, and now East was up 21-7 with 4:58 left in the third quarter. After a short kick and return, the Panthers would start from their 42. Plays later, they crossed the goal line as Ringelberg took it in himself from 2 yards out. Kowski made the kick, making the score 21-14 in favor of East with 59 seconds left in the third quarter. After the kick, Brookfield would start from their 45. 3 plays later, an East receiver would fumble after he catch the ball, of which Breeze would recover for Greendale on their 48. Greendale now owned the ball. On the very first play, Ringleberg would get hit for a 9-yard loss, putting them in a long yardage situation right off the bat. That would be the last play of the third quarter. After switching sides, Greendale would try another pass play that fell incomplete. So recognizing the fact that they had a long way to go, Ringleberg would quick kick, taking the ball all the way to the East 19 after a nice roll. On Brookfield's fifth play, Wisconsin Badger bound Alec James would get a handoff and take it 67 yards up the left sideline for a Spartan touchdown. Allen's kick would be good, and East now increased their lead by a score of 28-14 with 9:46 now left in the game. After the return of the ensuing kick, Greendale would start from their 23. They would get off 5 plays before having a punt from their 40. On this kick, the Spartan return man misjudged the ball as it would hit him square in the face mask and bounce towards Henderson, who would have recovered for Greendale on the Spartans' 44. Six plays later, Ringleberg would connect with Breeze on a 7-yard slant pass for a Panther touchdown. Kowski made the kick, and Greendale now only trailed by a score of 28-21 with 4:43 left in the game. After the ensuing kick, Brookfield would take over on their 36. 5 plays later, Jack Ringleberg would intercept the pass on his 34, giving Greendale one last chance to tie the game. Amazingly as this seems, this was D'Amico's first interception of the season, which includes all 10 games. Greendale now had the ball with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock and a chance to tie. They would get off 4 plays before looking at a 4th and 7. Ringleberg would roll to his right and loft the pass in the direction of Mitchell Breeze. He could not make the catch, ending their chances to tie the game and thus ending their season. Brookfield needed to take 3 knees to end the game. The final score would be Brookfield East 28, Greendale 21. This was almost a repeat of last year's Round 1 playoff performance as both teams battled to the bitter end in somewhat of a low-scoring affair. Greendale had their chances but just could not make enough plays to win. Brookfield, on the other hand, did make enough plays to defeat the Panthers for the 2nd year in a row. Brookfield, who remains undefeated, will now move on to play the winner of the Whitefish Bay Brookfield Central game for Round 3. Greendale will be handing in their equipment and finish the season with a 6-4 record. No one would ever imagine that Greendale would go on as far as they did, being such a young team. They only had 8 seniors in uniform playing for them this year. To put things in perspective, Brookfield had 24 seniors on their squad for the season. That means that Greendale will be pretty much returning their whole team for next year. One can only imagine what to expect because there isn't anything more valuable than experience when it comes to playing the game of football. This concludes our coverage of the 2012 high school football season. On behalf of my partners Chris Sobiak and Chuck Cairns and the Greendale Panther Touchdown Club, I would like to thank you all for all of your support. As long as the sun keeps rising, we'll be back next year to bring you the 2013 high school football season. This is Rodney Mattress bidding you all farewell, and we'll see you next year. So long, everybody.